like that he's not been particularly popular.
Who, the
You can
president?
see that, yeah.
Except that the problem was he won last time.
Well, but he
He's
still
been our
lost.
president
He
for
still
4 years.
lost the popular vote, right?
Right, in the specific counties.
So-
You know Biden won just enough counties to have you seen the current White House videos on YouTube?
No.
There are thousands of dislikes compared to likes. It's like 16,000 likes, 84,000 dislikes.
What is that? I don't have to do anything.
Well, if you have 80 million votes, more
Mhm.
votes than any other president in the history of a presidential election, you're going to have overwhelming support. You're not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. I'm looking to see that. You can't see it anywhere. His rallies had like 8 people in cars. His
So
his
what?
so you
He still won.
if you have well, and that's where we can disagree. I do not believe he won, and they would not investigate it. You can say they rejected the cases, but they rejected
Alright,
the
well,
cases
that's
before
a
they
hill.
saw the
That's a
evidence.
hill you can go on, and that's fine. Well, I mean, it's.
But here's one other
We
place
went
you
through
can
a
go
lot
look
of
for
court
yourself.
cases, didn't we?
Well, actually, the main ones that mattered were at the Supreme Court,
I think
and
I'm
they
more
said it was out
interested
of
in
their
other stuff.
like what?
I liked watching the Browns play. I just started reading Harry Potter. Have you read it?
I read a couple of them first.
It's pretty good. I used to think that it was too lowbrow for me. All the kids like it because I'm kind of a literary snob, you know. So it isn't a classic. I don't want to read it and then I'll drink it with my pinky out like so, you know. But it's actually pretty good. And I seen you had one article about Mario Sunshine,
Yeah.
and I enjoy playing some of those games. I never played that one, but I do have the latest Mario on the Switch.
3D All-Star.
Odyssey.
Odyssey. That one's fun. But going back to this, I have one last question for you before we finish up.
Mm-hmm.
So Joseph Biden runs on the platform that he would unify the nation. He said,
He's going to try. I
Yeah.
don't think he can. But
well, don't you agree? He says he has 80 million votes. Around 75 million people disagree. So the country is split. Half of them believing that Joe Biden is their president, half of them not.
mm-hmm.
Not legally. So, if he really wants to unify, why does he not open a revote? Why does he not actually allow court cases to be done? What is he hiding? Why does he not?
Has he denied any cases?
He's saying, well, the Supreme Court, so this was the problem. The Supreme Court is who was supposed to look at it. They said it was out of their jurisdiction, which it's not, according to the
Well,
Constitution.
you would have to, there was a lot of things that they said. Some of it had to do with who was bringing the suit, and like, Texas was suing on behalf of Michigan, and Texas can't do that because Texas is sitting here saying, I was injured by this, and like, no, that's not
And
how,
other
that's
states,
not how it works.
in single cases, went to the Supreme Court as well, and they just sent it back to the states and said, it's your problem, deal with it. But we have a Supreme Court, so that doesn't happen.
Well, they have to do it the right way.
But the
He doesn't
question,
exactly have the best people out there throwing his news on him. Like, Giuliani makes himself look silly more often than not.
really, but Giuliani actually has brought forth a lot of evidence that people see as true evidence. Because
Well, if I go out there, kind of like Tom here, you know, like if he says silly stuff, which he tends to do, he's not going to be. I wouldn't want to go to him and say, hey, look, that this fellow is going to prove my point. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like if you kind of lose credibility, I suppose. Like what did he do? This was the fun one. He said that there was going to be a rally or something at a press conference at the Four Seasons, and then he went to a Four Seasons landscaping. Like that's just silly right there.
I do not recall hearing about that.
Well, it's out there.
Well, I need to
yeah.
look that up. But
I guess as like I'm glad that you're so interested in this stuff and you got a definite passion, which is awesome. I just think when it comes to the election, maybe I just don't see that the proof is really there. I mean, to me it seems likely that a guy who was not particularly popular nationally, could very well lose. You know, I didn't think he was going to lose, but it is what it is. And I don't know how much, like, what I wonder about is how long do you think it's going to last, this battle over something that doesn't really have much traction anymore, as in overturning the election?
Well, honestly, what I believe is, as I said, there are millions of Americans who do not believe they had a fair trial. So if Joe Biden really wants to unify us, he should say, all right, then let's do a revote. I really, truly want to show that I won. I truly want to show that I am your president. So,
Well,
he'll
we
do
kind
a
of did
revote.
one of those.
We
with
didn't do a
Georgia,
revote.
didn't we?
No,
Well,
no.
I guess that don't make a lot of sense. I mean, he won the popular vote, right? Can we go there?
We
That he
can
won?
say that.
Okay. So I guess it's kind of like I don't think that that's going to happen, and I think you probably know that's not going to happen.
Oh no, but that's the problem, because if that's not unifying. That's more dividing. He's dividing us even further because he's saying, I
Don't you
don't
think-
care about your concerns.
Then couldn't we also say that perpetuating a narrative of what some might deem as misinformation, as in the election was going, I mean, for all the evidence you got, you think some of that would be a little bit more prevalent and actually have some meat to it, and I don't know that there's much meat in it.
Well, this evidence that I gave you is the skim of the
Let me
surface.
put it this way, I wouldn't write a story about that and go with that, like personally as a newspaper man, I wouldn't use that to, do much. But I think there's just as much divisiveness, again, I suppose it's what about it, it is what it is. I mean, we got Biden for the next 4 years. My hope is, because I think we can do better than Biden, and I think we can do better than Trump. And I would hope that on our side and your side, that in 4 years, we got better people to vote for than them two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think the best Republican that I've had the opportunity to vote for was John McCain. He's got the experience, he knows his stuff, but he's a good honest man. And Biden was no Obama, So I think we could both do a lot better, and that's what I hope to. And I think a man like McCain wouldn't have carried himself